The Prime Minister adding that any consideration of a wider business income tax would only be done after proper consultation with considerable lead time, allowing local businesses to properly prepare. Well, a strong cash flow, strong revenue, and effective expenditure goals. Still, now that the fiscal year is halfway in, the Davis administration's keen on further strengthening the public purse. Altaviz Munnings joins us live in studio with the numbers shared at today's Office of the Prime Minister's press briefing. Altaviz?
Good evening to you, Mukashla, and good evening, Bahamas. Financial Secretary Simon Wilson today revealing that first half revenue performed exceptionally well at 39.3% of the target. On the other end, recurrent expenditure grew by $8 million and capital expenditure by $17 million, while the deficit shrank by $19 million. But what stood out in Minister of Finance, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis's mid-year budget statement on Wednesday was his administration's intention to implement a tax avoidance scheme to win back some of the millions they've already lost.
What we realized was that legitimate importers of alcohol and tobacco saw a consistent decline in their sales. So we recoup it by discouraging persons from smuggling, and then people who purchase from legitimate importers and distributors who pay their taxes. 2 months ago, we came upon a warehouse where we retrieved over $1 million in cash and goods. You know, that the secondary impact of that is tremendous, because it means that those products had to be purchased through legitimate means. So yes, they will have an impact.
The FS, Thursday's guest at the Office of the Prime Minister's press briefing, also sought to shed light on government's travel budget that increased from just under $500,000 to over $2 million.
The comparison has unfortunately been to the COVID period, where there was little or no travel. The reality is the travel is not extraordinary. Right? These are international meetings that we are required to attend to protect the interests of the country. In the case of the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Finance or a political representative is required at least 10 meetings a year. Required. It's not optional. So if you can imagine a Ministry of Finance, we have small Ministry of Finance, but you're required to be at your IMF meetings, you're required to be at your IDB meetings, you're required to be at your CDB meetings. This is outside of the meetings required by the technical officials.
The government is relying on revenue generated from business licenses and property taxes by the end of April to significantly reduce the country's multi-million-dollar deficit. At the halfway mark, the deficit exceeded the budget forecast by $127.6 million. Reporting live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings. Back to you, Mukashla.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.